Hello and welcome to session 2 for spelling, punctuation and grammar. So we're going to look at how to use correct grammar and modality devices. Okay. So let's get started. The aims and objectives for today is to the learners must ensure that they have subject-verb arrangements in their writing, or subjective verbs in their writing, use tense correctly, know how to position articles correctly, and know the basics of their use. Use pronouns correctly as subjects and in the possessive form. Learners should understand how articles are used with uncountable nouns. Use pronouns correctly as use pronouns correctly as objects. Understand how to make collective nouns agree with the verb. Understand how to identify articles can change to different articles. Use a limited range of modality devices, and learners could use a wide range of modality devices. So what do you need to know? You should know everything from level 1, so skills, completely secure, singular, plural, subjects, verb arrangements and plural rules. You should know all of the entry-level requirements, and that brings you up to level 2 functional skills English. At level 2, you're expected to be able to use grammar skills to add to the effectiveness of your writing. Tense should be 100% correct. The top marks subject-verb arrangement should also include use of arrangements for pronouns and collective nouns. So if you're not sure what all of that is, please pay particular attention. Right, so what you need to do, you need to go back to your Canvas account and watch video 1. So just pause this, watch video 1 around subject-verb arrangements. Good. Now you've watched that video, hopefully you'll be able to look at this. So subject-verb arrangements, to work this out, you need to know the difference between singular and plural verbs. So what should the verb be? The office shuts shut at 6 today. So you can hear it, can't you? The office shuts at 6 today. We would never say the office shut at 6 today. Good. Parking Bay 3 is reserved for the directors, or Parking Bay 3 are reserved for the directors. So again, you can hear it, can't you? R just doesn't sound like so. Parking Bay 3 is reserved for the directors. She need to bring some ID, or she needs to bring some ID. She needs. Good. They is or am taking a holiday. Yeah, are. They are taking a holiday. Jenny and Joe work at a supermarket, or does Jenny and Joe works at a supermarket? So Jenny and Joe work at a supermarket, or Jenny and Joe works at a supermarket? So that's right, Jenny and Joe work at a supermarket. Good. Okay, so let's carry this on. Which sentence has the correct subject verb? So again, so which one reads correctly as we're reading it? I am working late tonight. That sounds all right to me. The spreadsheet is on the desk. Again, sounds all right to me. They was going to send the parcel today. They was going to send the parcel today, or they were going to send the parcel today. So that doesn't sound right at all. We are fixing the machine. We're fixing the machine. Sounds right to me. I were at lunch from 12 until 1. I were at lunch, or I was at lunch. Good. The security guards go to work at 9. So the security guards goes to work at 9. No, that doesn't sound right. The security guard goes to work at 9, maybe, but the security guards goes, it just doesn't sound right, does it? So that can't be right. Lovely. Okay, so just to strengthen this up now, I want you to go and watch verb tense. So if you stop this and go and watch video 2, and then come back and let's have a discussion about video 2. So verb tense 1. There are 3 tenses. Verbs show the tense in text is written here. So past, present, future. So they're the verb tenses. So in the past, Joe caught the bus to work because the action's already taken place. Joe was catching the bus to work, or Joe has caught the bus to work. Okay. Present, showing the actions that are taking place now. Joe catches the bus to work, or Joe is catching the bus to work. So again, it sounds like it's now. And then in the future, showing the actions that will happen in the future. Joe will catch the bus to work tomorrow, or Joe will be catching the bus to work tomorrow. So caught, was, had is in the past, kind of showing the present is catching and catches, and then in the future will catch or will be catching. Good. Okay, so here the use of the tense in this text is incorrect. Which verb needs to be changed? So further to our telephone conversation a moment ago, I am pleased to attach my CV. You will see that I have completed a range of business administration qualifications and am well qualified to work at Smith and Company. I am in charge of a team of admin staff in my current job. I have been working for Browns for 5 years. They have been a great company to work for, but I'm now interested in gaining promotion and skills with another company. So when you read it, it just doesn't read well at all, does it? So if we were to kind of add in those tenses, further to our conversation a moment ago, I'm pleased, rather than I'm pleased to attach my CV. You'll see I have completed a range of business administration qualifications. Yeah. And I am well qualified to work at Smiths and Company, or Smith and Company, depending on if that is the correct spelling of their name. I am in charge of a team. I'm in charge of a team of admin staff within my current role, in my current role. I have been working for Browns, again, missing that, for 5 years, and have a great, they have been a great company to work for. Good, but I'm now interested in gaining a promotion, or I'm now interested in gaining, I'm now interested in gaining a promotion and skills with another company or within another company. So it wouldn't take much just to pop that in. So what you could do though, and let's face it, because I am an AI avid fan now, you can always cut and paste that. You know, if you've written something and you're not sure, just cut and paste it and put it into AI and ask AI to check it for you, because there is no point suffering in the world of writing skills when we have things like Grammarly, ChatGPT, and other AI technology. At the end of the day, we have calculators for maths, we have AI for writing. So if you do have to write something and you're not sure if you've written it in the right verb or the right tense, or if you've got the right commas or brackets or colons, just pop it in AI. And what you'll see anyway, the more you use it, the more you'll identify the errors and the things that you're doing wrong. Obviously, you need to know this for your exam, but again, for you to have a good understanding, just copy and paste it. You've got the PowerPoint above, copy and paste that into AI and have a look and see what that looks like. Okay, so now try activity 1 and then you can come back. Good. So we're now going to look at pronouns. You're going to watch the film 3 and then you'll come back and we'll have a look. Good. So pronouns are used in place of a noun to avoid repetition. Pronouns are singular or plural. So first, second, and third person. Singular, first person, I, me. Plural, we, us. So for me as a singular person, I would say I. But if I was talking about more than me, I would say we or us. Okay. In the second person, I would say you. And the plural was still you because there's no other plural for that one. And then third person, he, she, him, her, it. And the plural there is they, them. So possessive pronouns are mine, so the things that you own, mine or yours, hers, his, ours, theirs, its. So reflex pronouns are used to reflect, or reflective pronouns are used to reflect back to a subject or the sentence. So often a pronoun that's already been used. For example, they are myself, himself, herself, yourself, itself, ourself, ourselves, themselves. For example, you can go to the shop by yourself. Good. So pronouns. The use of pronouns in this text is inconsistent, which needs to be changed. So Ian Aplin has taken the manager of the Castle Hotel. Ian Aplin has been the manager, for the Castle Hotel for 3 years. He oversaw a £10 million refit. Ian Aplin has been the manager. Has been the manager. Ian Aplin was the manager for the Castle Hotel, or has been the manager. He oversaw a £10 million refit. Our overall aim was to respect the most iconic areas of the hotel. People visit our hotel from all over the world to experience its old world charms. They want a blend of old and new. Ian and his team have worked tirelessly to create a new look. With rave reviews, we agree that the refit was a total success. It's quite difficult to read something, isn't it, when it doesn't make sense? So what we're going to do, okay, let's just do this so we can have a look to see what I was saying, because it gets a bit much when you're trying to read this. So let's pop this in here. Please. Oh, it's already in there. So it says the use of pronouns and concepts which needs to be changed. So let's have a look. There. So we can see here, Ian Aplin has been the manager of the Castle Hotel for 3 years. He oversaw a £10 million refit. Our overall aim was to respect the most iconic areas of the hotel. People visited our hotel from all over the world to experience its old world charms. They want a blend of the old and new. Ian and his team have worked tirelessly to create a new look. With rave reviews, they agree that the refit was a total success. The change made here is replacing we with they. To maintain consistency, the use of the third person pronoun Ian and his team, which was established in the previous sentences. There. This is why I love ChatGPT. Makes far more sense now, doesn't it? And the problem is when you try and read a sentence that doesn't make sense, it takes a while for your brain to kind of read it. That's why I stumble when you keep reading incorrect things. So it's really useful. So ChatGPT, if you've never used it before, AI technology gives you all of the help that you need there. Good. So let's go back. And we'll have that open if we need to use it again. Okay, let's go back to slideshow where we are there. Good. So hopefully that was helpful. You saw how AI works, and you saw how that works there. So replace the nouns with appropriate pronouns. So Ian and Tamika were working late with Tom and I. So what needs to go in the front here? Ian and Tamika were working late with Tom and I. Ian and Tamika, they were working late with Tom and I. What do we think? Does that sound better? Good. The floors need cleaning, but Tom and I were too busy to sweep the floors. Oh, look, with us. Okay. The floors need cleaning, but we were too busy to sweep. Why was Roger late for the meeting with Bianca yesterday? So why was he late for the meeting with maybe with us or her? So why was he late for the meeting with her yesterday? That would be good. Katie said the breakages was her fault. So Katie, she said it was her fault. Good. So you can kind of see by introducing they, us, we, them, her, those replace those nouns with appropriate pronouns. So once we've replaced and got the pronouns in there, the sentences make sense. Okay, so looking at collective nouns, a collective noun is a name given to a group of things such as a family, an organization, a team, a pack of dogs, a bunch of flowers, a class of students. We don't need to learn lists of collective nouns, but if we use them, your grammar must be correct. If the collective noun refers to a group as a unit, then it takes a singular verb. So today the class takes its exam. Class takes and it's our singular. All of the members of the class will be taking the exam at the same time. If the noun refers to the individual in the group or the parts that make up the group, then the verb should be plural. After the exam, the class starts speaking and listening presentation. Class starts are plural. The students are starting their own speaking and listening presentation. So again, you can just see how by putting the correct grammar in, when you read it, it makes more sense. So let's have a look at collective nouns here. So which sentence have correct subject verbs? And again, just agree or disagree with me. The committee is undecided. Seems all right to me, that one. The stack of paper is on the table. The stack of paper is on the spot. I think that reads okay. Everyone want to work here. See, it doesn't sound like, does it? So it's everyone wants to work here because we're talking about more than one person. Good. A majority of shareholders wants the merger. a majority of the shareholders wants the merger. That sounds okay. The team are in London this week. The team are in London this week, or the team is in London this week. I think it is, so that's not right. The gang of workmen are late or is late. The gang of workmen were late. The gang of workmen is late. The gang of workmen is late. Yeah. Okay. Good. So again, when you write to me, you just read it back. You can always hear, can't you? It just doesn't sound right. So just finding the right word. And this is why proofreading is so important, because if you proofread what you've written, you'll be able to make sense of that. So yeah, hopefully that will make sense. Now try activity 3, collective nouns. Good. So try that, come back, see how you did, and we can move on. So articles, what are articles? Look at these jokes and decide what is the purpose of the underlining letters. So a horse walks into a bar. The barman says, "Why the long face?" Okay, what do we think about that? What's the best thing about Switzerland? I don't know, but the flag is a big plus. And what sits at the bottom of the sea? And twitches, a nervous wreck. So if we just pop that over in here, and we can see. Okay, so articles are a type of word used in English grammar to specify a limit to a noun. They are 3 articles in England. Articles defined: the. It is used to refer to the speech noun that both the speaker and the listener are aware of and can identify. For example, the car, the book. Identify article a and an. So the use of the refer to non-specific or general nouns. A is used before a word that begins with a consonant sound. So an is used before words that begin with vowel sounds. For example, a cat or an apple. Now look at the joke and underline the purposes. So a horse walks into the bar, but the barman says, "Why the long face?" The underline a is the identified article referring or indicating that the horse is the joke. It is not specific. It's not a specific horse, but just any horse. The underline that in the article is defined articles looking at the particular barman in the context. It is used because both the speaker and the listener know which barman it is being referred to. There we go. So what's the best thing about Switzerland? I don't know, but the flag is a big plus. The underline the is the definitive article here, specifying a particular flag, which is the Swiss flag. The underline a is an identified article indicating the best thing about the Switzerland's flag is not a specific thing about a positive aspect. Hey, probably I just don't get jokes. What sits at the bottom of the sea and twitches? A nervous wreck. The underline a is an identified article introducing a concept of a nervous wreck as the punchline of the joke. In these jokes, the articles serve their usual grammar functions in specifying whether the nouns they precede are specific or general, helping to convey the humour or surprise in the punchline. Well, aren't we pleased that we worked that one out, people? Going to be honest with you, I didn't find the jokes funny, but maybe you did. Oh dear, if I have to use AI to understand a joke, I've probably lost the plot somewhere, haven't I? Anyway, let's carry on. The general rule for the article is an specifically identified unknown. The countable noun is a or an. Unknown nouns, e.g. rice, non-article. Specifically identified noun, the and the, and all things or general things in general. No articles and no article. Let's look at their use and purpose in more detail. All right, let's have a look. So the purpose of an article. Oh, look, I didn't need to go to Google to AI because it's telling me anyway. A horse walks into, so it identifies an article and A goes before the noun. We already know that now. The identified article an before the vowel sounds, e.g. an umbrella, an old man, an hour, an animal, family, bar. Identified article goes A before the noun there. The barman says, why the long face? The defined article the goes before the noun to. How to use the articles. So a horse walks into an animal-friendly bar. The introduction to a new noun, it could be any horse. Same purpose as a non-specific. So it could be any animal bar. So it's not been specific. The barman says, why the long face? The horse only has one face. We know which face he's talking about. In the same way we say the bathroom, it's specific. There we go. So again, I wish I'd have known this was here before going into AI, but anyway, here we are. The best thing about Switzerland, I don't know, but the flag is a big plus. So again, here we can see what we just read on the AI. So define the article because there can only be one best thing. The is always used there. Note, name is like countries don't take an article unless there are a number of states, e.g. the Philippines / the USA. It's quite specific, so there is only one flag of Switzerland. Non-specific, there can be a number of pluses. So, what sits at the bottom of the sea? There is only one bottom of the sea. So, establish or unique things like the sea, the sky, the sun, the moon, take the. So what sits at the bottom of the sea and twitches? A non-specific nervous wreck. If you have to put that much effort into your Christmas jokes, they just wouldn't be funny, right, people? Anyway, when an identified article becomes a defined article, when you see an identified article to introduce something, it will then become something we know and thus take a different article after. There is a tree in the back garden. The tree was planted by my father over 30 years ago. We introduce the tree with a or an because it's new to us. We then know which tree we are talking about, so it takes on a different article. Different article, yeah. Unaccountable nouns take no articles when introduced. I heard a tall tale about rice last night. I don't think there was a grain of truth in it. I think the writer of these slides had quite a lot of time on their hands, right? Rice has no article. It is unaccountable, and therefore an, and the are singular. When we talk about the grain of rice, we use a for one grain. Once the rice is introduced, we may use the to be specific. We had curry and rice last night. The rice was delicious. I'm hoping that's as clear as mud. Good. So, definitions then. To introduce a new here we need to fill in the table, I think. So a or and the no article. To introduce a new accountable noun, talk about a noun, possibly introduce superfluous best tales, countries made up of the past states, most countries, non-specific countable nouns, and unique. sums. Okay, so what I've done is I've put together the first two so we can have a look, and then obviously you can research the rest of this. So let's just have a look. So to introduce a new countable noun, you would typically use a or an as identified articles, depending on whether the noun belongs to the consonant or vowel sound. So you use a before countable noun, then beginning with the consonant sound. Example, I saw a cat. Use an before the countable nouns, then began with a vowel sound. For example, she has an apple. We would not use the or all articles introducing a new countable noun, as the is defined as the article used to refer to the specific nouns that already knows. We have mentioned previously and use no article words, making the noun sounds specified and general. So that's that one. And then if we look at the next one, when talking about the noun, it's been previously introduced, you typically use the as the defined article to specify that we are referring to that specific noun. So here's how it works. If you've already introduced a specific noun, use the before it to indicate that you're referring to the particular noun. Example, I saw a cat, the cat was black. If the example, the cat, refers to a specific cat that we previously introduced as a cat, we would not use a or an in this context because those articles identify articles used to introduce new nouns, and using no articles would generally make the reference unclear. Good. So I got that from ChatGPT. I went online, I Googled it and popped those in the slides just to help you. Let's try activity 4. So go to your worksheets, have a go at those, and then when you've done, come back. Good, welcome back. We can now look at modality devices. Modality devices are tools that we use to change the degree to which we do something. For example, Tommy will walk his dog when he gets home. Tommy will probably walk his dog when he gets home. What is the difference in these meaning? Modality allows the writer to tell us about possibility and desirability. So he will walk his dog is a very firm statement. He will do something. Probably means he may or may not. So modality looks at a mixture of adverbs. How strongly do they express the possibility that climate change will get worse? Imagine they are in the gap in the sentence and then place them in the line in terms of their likeliness. Right, so again, climate change will definitely get worse. Climate change probably won't get worse. Climate change will possibly get worse. Climate change will maybe get worse. Climate change will definitely not get worse. So you can see how that works, can't you? So looking at the more likelihood there. So look at this mix of verbs. They are called modal verbs as they change the intensity of the verb next to them. How strong do they express the desirability that Peter should go vegan? Imagine they are in the gap of the sentences and put them in the line. So again, if we think this isn't going to happen, that is going to happen. You must become a vegan, Peter. That's straight up there, isn't it? You will, again, it's going to be up there, become a vegan. You could become a vegan is going to be there. You mustn't is down there. And you might is probably there. So you can see how changing the word changes the sentence to something quite unlikely to happen to definitely happening. Okay, good. So phrases can also be used to express possibility and desirability. So possibility is possible that, it seems likely or unlikely that, it is more than, or highly likely that. It is out of the question that, without a shadow of a doubt, it's doubtful that it is capable. Can you think of any others? If you can, drop them in the chat group and we can have a look at those. And desirability, it is suggested that, it is advised that, the best, worst way is, it seems sensible to, that was hoped for, all of our worst fears, was an acceptable outcome. So you can see by finishing those sentences and using those, you've got your possibility and your desirability there. So just adding those in can give the reader an idea of the likelihood of an event to happen or not happen. So now let's try activity 5, looking at modalities. Once you've done that, don't forget to self-check your answers and then come back and we can do the quiz. So what do pronouns do? Do they A, show direct speech, B, make verbs agree? Do they A, show direct speech, B, take the place of a verb, C, make verbs agree, or do they D, take the place of nouns? Hopefully you said D, they take the place of a noun. Good. Which shows correct subject-verb arrangements? So the crowd of people is leaving the building. The crowd of people are leaving the building. The crowds of people is leaving the building, and the crowd of peoples is leaving the building. So again, A. What is a future tense here? A verb, an action that is happening, an action that has happened, an action that is going to happen. So a future tense, past, present, future, got to be D, right? Which shows correct use of the tense. So yesterday the printer ran out of toner. Yesterday the printer ran out of toner. Sorry, misread that. So A, yesterday the printer run out of toner. This makes more sense. C, yesterday the printer ran out of toner. So it's already happened, it's gone. So C. Which use the correct pronouns? So have a look. And hopefully you came up with the shift was long, so they were glad when it was over. Good. So the aims and objectives to today, by the end of the session, is must ensure that they have subject-verb arrangements in their writing, use tense correctly, know how to position articles correctly, and know how the basics of they're used. Use pronouns correctly as subjects and in the positive form. Then should understand how articles are used in conjunctival nouns. Use pronouns correctly as objectives. Understand how to make collective nouns agree with the verb. Understand how to identify articles and change to a different role, and use limited range of modality devices, and as could use a wide range of modality devices. Don't forget to check your knowledge on the worksheets. Great, well done. We've completed the module on grammar for level 2 functional skills English. And then here, let's not forget, if we come back to our screen, but you know this in a way because you've done it all. There's the lesson, there's the PowerPoint if you want to cut and paste and use ChatGPT like I did. We've got the videos there that you need to watch, the articles there, and you're ready to then move on to the next session, which then looks at spelling words used in work, study, and daily life, introducing a range of specialist words. Wonderful. We'll see you all in the next recording.